Hi everyone, welcome to part 2. In part 1, we build the foundation, feet balance, alignment, and a alive spine, head organization, and shoulder mobility. Now we take that base and apply it to bow changes, the bow hand, the left hand security, and then we put it into Bach Bourrée in G major, Suzuki Book 3. Before we do anything, let's have a quick reset. So feet in the ground, ankles free, knees unlocked, hips mobile, pelvis supports ribs, rib supports collarbone, and spine is alive. And head is neutral, no grip. Now we can play. So bow changes lose flow when we add tension, so we practice an exchange. Play a slow bow near the end, notice if anything locks. Now change the direction without tightening. If you tighten, you lose mobility and the bow change gets stuck. So if you stay flexible, the bow change becomes natural. Do this on open strings first. So let's do this together on an open D string. So we start the bow from the frog. And towards the end, we check if our shoulder is down, if our elbow is relaxed, the spine, the legs, and we go down to the feet. How is your neck? And then we go back. We do this 4 times. But this time I'm not going to stop at the end. I'm just going to do it very slow, and then you think all of these elements that I mentioned before in your head. Second time. Third time. Fourth time. And of course, it's the same when you're down at the frog. You have to feel that the hand doesn't tighten and you don't do any extra tension in your fingers, your hand or elbow or any of the other parts of the body that we talked about before. Now we are going to apply it to a string level. So we go from A to D and to the G. And the mistake is that we lift the shoulder when going lower to the lower string. Joint motion happens when shoulder blade stays released. So if you feel that the shoulder rise, pause and do the wings test again, then return back. If you haven't seen my part 1 video, you can go back and look what the wing test is. We try to do the chicken wings, that test, and we realize that when we are doing this motion, we don't lift our shoulders naturally. But that happens when we play the violin. Now a habit that can change your sound immediately. Before you play any note, place the bow on the string and stay there for a moment. Not frozen, not holding your breath. Just a quiet pause. And here is what I want you to think about when you sit on the string. First is contact, not pressure. Am I simply touching the string, or am I already pushing into it? The bow should feel present on the string, but not forced. If you notice pushing, don't correct the sound yet. Correct the organization. So return to your feet, soften shoulder, let the arm be heavy. The second thing is the shoulder blade release. Is my shoulder blade quietly down and wide, or is it creeping up? This matters because if the shoulder lifts, the arm loses mobility and the hand starts to grip. While you sit there, you're checking that the shoulder blade stays released, not held up. The third thing is elastic hand. Is my bow hand elastic, or am I stiffening to feel safe? If you don't need a dramatic adjustment, just notice if the fingers can stay responsive. If the hand stiffens, it usually means that the body is trying to control the sound before it even begins. Do I feel supported by my feet and spine, or am I trying to make sound only with my arm? This is where part 1 and part 2 meet. If the body is organized, the bow doesn't need to work hard. It just begins. Now we start the stroke. The goal is that the sound begins from prepared contact, not from urgency. If your first note sounds harsh, or thin, or scratchy, it's because you are attacking the string from tension. I'll show it 2 ways. First way is I will rush into the sound, and then I'll put the bow on the string and sit there, and then I start. And you will hear the difference immediately. And I'm not saying that sometimes in the music we need to start from the air, of course, and that we should also be able to do. But just as a exercise here, you can think about all of the music starting from the string right now. Because later on, when you do it from the air, you can still have the same feeling, the same thoughts in your head. So I will demonstrate on purpose how it can sound if I rush into the string, even so it doesn't sound so harsh in reality. So the sound was not focused, and I want to have a focused sound. So we do it one more time. First is harsh, and then I won't focus. Sit there. It depends, of course, on what you want to achieve in your piece of music you're playing. As I mentioned before, this is just an exercise, and it doesn't mean that you always have to start like this. Sitting on the string trains the nervous system to stop searching for security in the hand. It teaches you to begin from organization. A lot of bow problems are not bow problems at all. They're hand stiffness problems. The hand becomes rigid because it's trying to feel safe. So I want to show you what I mean by elastic hand, using something everyone understands. Holding a bottle. Picture a bottle of water or any bottle you have at home, and don't think, just hold it like normal. Now notice your fingers are curved, the thumb is not squeezing like a clump. The hand has a grip, but it's not rigid. If I tap into your hand lightly, it will respond. So that is the feeling I want you to have on the bow hand. Do that, by the way, touch your hand with your other hand, with the left hand, and feel if it's tense here. I can feel immediately when I tense my hand here. It's becoming much harder when I touch the muscles here. And then I relax again. It's a different feeling. So now we're going to try to hold the hand in a wrong way and just feel how is it when I'm going to do the opposite. So I'm going to make my hand more square and stiff, and notice what happens. The wrist feels less mobile, the fingers stop adapting, and everything becomes one block. This is what happens to many players on the bow. The hand becomes a single rigid unit. And when the hand is rigid, you lose mobility and the bow change gets stuck. Before you play anything, just hold the bow and check, do I feel the same natural curve in the fingers like I did with the bato? Is the thumb alive or is it forced? Is the hand responding to bow movement? Or is it hard grip? Just notice that yourself and relax and create a bato feeling like a normal grasp. Now I do a tiny motion, up bow and down bow. Very small. I'm not trying to make a big sound. I'm just checking one thing. Can my hand remain responsive while the bow is changing direction? If the fingers are locked, the bow change loses flow. So I keep the hand elastic, not limp, not stiff, and responsive. I will listen for a sound that starts cleanly and the bow changes that don't feel abrupt, and a hand that doesn't freeze into a shape that is making you tense. And if the sound becomes forced, I will not fix the sound. I will just return to the tone response, like holding the bato. So I will take the A string this time and we just play 2 strokes, but you can practice 4 or 5 strokes and just have the same feeling in your hand as you had when you hold the bato. Don't worry about the sound. If you get scratchy sound or not perfect sound, that's completely normal. We're just training the position of your hand and how relaxed it can be, and trying the same feeling as when you hold the bato that you had in your hand before. Now we can do one of the most useful coordination habits. Play a short rhythm on open string and then pause for a second. Not rigid, not stiff, just a moment of stillness to observe. Use something easy like 4 short strokes or 2 long strokes. So I will play this rhythm. We can also play. And when you pause, scan in this order. Is the jaw tighten? Is the neck shorten? Is the shoulder lift? Is the shoulder blade creep up? Forearm, hand, did the fingers stiffen? Don't judge, just locate the first place it starts. So if your hand feels wrong, don't start by fixing the hand. Start upstream. Now do a quick reset. Feel the feet, unlock knees, let the shoulder blade drop and widen. Let the bow hand return to elastic tone. Then play the same rhythm again. How did it feel this time? Do this exercise 3 times. So play and pause, scan, and then reset. And then play again. The point is to train the body to notice tension early, before it becomes your normal. Now the left hand. Left hand tension often isn't about fingers. It appears when the body is searching for security. So I ask one question. Is my hand doing its job, or is it trying to hold the whole violin system together? When the system is stable through the feet, spine and head organization, the left hand can focus on placement, clarity, mobility, and when the system is unstable, the left hand starts to clamp. The thumb grips, the wrist stiffens, and the finger press too hard on the string. So before we fix left hand technique, we check whether the body is asking the left hand to do too much. This exercise teaches you what the left hand looks like when it isn't performing. Make a soft fist in front of you, not tight, not showing technique, just natural. Now notice the fingers curve naturally, the thumb is relaxed, and the wrist has a natural angle, not forced, not this or this, just straight. And this is your baseline. Now open the hand slightly and keep the same curve and softness. It should feel alive, not collapsed and not rigid. Now we're bringing this fist hand, to the violin. And don't build the violin hand. Bring just your natural hand to the violin. If the hand suddenly becomes flat or stiff or squeezing, just stop. Now do 1, 2, 3, 4 slowly on one string, and your only goal is to keep the loose fist shape. If the thumb clamps or wrist locks, pause, reset the hand shape away from the violin and return again. So we're going to put the fingers on A string, very, very loose and slow. And of course, when you put your fourth finger, it's the hand wants to go slightly in, which is completely normal. But just feel your hand and see, even look at it and see if you see any clamping of the thumb or tension on your fingers, and then you just relax and do it in a natural way again. Let me do one more time. And I'm doing it loose, but I still put the fingers on the fingerboard, so I don't mean that you just put it very loose. You should have them in the way that you want to produce a sound. Now we play the same, but with the bow. Notice if the hand is organized, then you will feel less pressure. You have better intonation, and you also have better vibrato and easier later on. So we try with the bow now on the A string. Now check the thumb. See if the thumb can remain open, not clamped. If the thumb clamps, the hand is trying to stabilize the whole system. And then return to the feet, spine, head, natural, like I repeat many times now before. Now about shifting. A lot of the shifting tension comes from the misunderstanding. We try to move the whole upper body, or we drag the shoulder. But in this approach, shifting is not about the shoulder. The shoulder stays essentially where it is. Shifting is mainly about the elbow traveling and the arm swinging through the joint without tightening. Before shifting, pause for 1 second and ask, is my neck quiet, relaxed? Are my shoulders quiet? Am I about to help the shift by lifting? If you feel the shoulder preparing to lift, stop and reset again from the ground from your feet and from the spine and the head. Because the tight shoulder often spreads tension down into the left hand. So try to shift without playing, just doing the motion. We do the shift without sound. Place the first finger in the first position on D string and now slide to the third position slowly. Let the elbow travel. Don't pull the shoulder forward and don't lift. The elbow is part of that change where the hand is in space. If you watch the motion, the hand travels because the elbow travels. Do it 5-6 times and feel this motion with your elbow. Try this very slowly. Start the first position. Begin to move the elbow first just a little. Let the hand follow naturally. And then arrive at third position without clamping. Now do it back to the first position. The goal is not to speed, but to feel the shift like swinging, not pulling. Now take a simple pattern you can repeat. First finger on first position to third position, and then back, exactly as we did silently before. And every time you repeat, check, did the neck tighten? Did the shoulder lift? Did the thumb clamp? If any of those happens, it means that the system is asking the left hand to stabilize. So we go back to the foundation and then we try again. So now we do it very slowly, 4 times, back and forward. Sound makes you tighten, it means your nervous system is thinking that the shifting is dangerous. So you slow down and sit on the string before the note, then shift. If you lift the shoulder, the neck tightens. If you drag the shoulder, the hand clamps. If you clamp the thumb, intonation becomes unstable. So we return to one principle. The shift is done by the elbow traveling and the shoulder stays quiet. When shifting is organized through the elbow, the left hand stays free and the sound doesn't collapse. That's the goal, mobility without forcing. Now let's bring all of these exercises into the music, to Bach's Bourrée by Suzuki Book number 3. Bach's Bourrée is perfect because it reveals the front loading, the shoulder lifting on string and string crossing, the bow changes and also the left hand thumb gripping for security. We will do 3 passes. I reset feet in the floor, knees are free, pelvis, ribs, collarbone, spine, head is natural. Then I place the violin and notice my shoulder, my neck, my jaw, the arm. And then I place the bow and just sit there. Now I'll play the opening phrase. Focus on the string crossing. So I want a joint motion that the shoulder blade is released, and if I lift, I stop, reset and do it again. Okay, so I noticed that I lift my shoulder when I did the string crossing, so I'll try again. I think that looked okay now, and I felt quite relaxed in my shoulder when I did the string crossing. Now I will listen to the bow changes that don't collide and that are my hand is relaxed. And if I don't feel that the sound is good, I'll go back to the basic and look at my feet, knees, pelvis, ribs, and see where do I tense. I think my feet are actually quite tense. When I look at them on the floor, they are almost cramping. That's something new I discovered about myself now. So look really from the ground and look if you tense somewhere from the feet. So now let's listen to our sound and start with the bow, putting it on the string like we said before. And it may happen that this is not the best solution to start. Some people want to start from the air, and that's completely okay, but right now you just try it as an exercise. If you start from here, feel your body first, and then we start the motion. Let's both listen to your sound, but also look at the bow changes you're doing. I'll start somewhere in the middle of the bow. The string crossing too. So see if you can combine all of these things in a couple of weeks. Obviously you cannot think about all of it together in the beginning, so maybe the first time you should just sit on the string when you play one of your music pieces and see if you can just be aware of your body when you just sit on the string. Then try to play a couple of bars and see if you can feel free when you play the bars. And then you can go to the next exercise about the bow changes, string crossing, and left hand, of course. So let's also look at the left hand as we trained left hand too, and give yourself time and don't train your left hand when you are playing your piece of music. Wait with it for a couple of weeks or months. Depends on how fast you're moving. But just for the sake of the video, let's try the same piece, the same bars, just for the sake of the left hand, and see if I'm clamping the thumb. How is my hand? Is it in the right position? Am I tense? So let's try again. Thinking about the left hand. When I was thinking about my left hand now, I noticed that my fingers were actually much lighter because I didn't put them so hard into the fingerboard, and in that way I didn't need to clamp the thumb either. And when my fingers were so light, I also noticed that I can play actually much faster. See if you notice some changes when you do this exercise and are becoming aware of your left hand or right hand, and let me know in the comments below. So the conclusion is simple. When the body is organized, the shoulders don't infect the hands, and the bow changes becomes as exchange of emotion. The hands stays elastic and the sound gains core without force. So coordination is not a trick, it's a way of being organized enough that the music can speak of itself. If this video helped you feel something new in your playing, please like, subscribe and share it with a friend or a student who may need it. And if you like more videos like this, where we connect body, sound and musical meaning, leave a comment with what you would like me to explore next. Thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next video.